What's up, YouTube? Your boy back once again with another sport topic. And today we're going to talk some football and we're going to break down the Duane Brown trade. If you do not know, Duane Brown was traded to the Seattle Seahawks for cornerback Jeremy Lane, a fifth-round pick of this year in the 2018 draft, and a second-round pick in the 2019 draft. And that is the compensation that we got. We only gave up Duane Brown. That's what the Texans received in return. And to be honest, I am kind of conflicted about this trade because, okay, this is the reason why I'm conflicted about the trade. One, we do need the help in the secondary. And I do think that bringing in Lane, now that you could possibly move Kareem to safety, so we can use Kareem at safety, use Lane at corner, and with him, Joseph and Johnson, that type of combination, you can do things like that. Getting the second round pick, even though it's 2019, I'll feel much better if the second round pick was this coming up draft in 2018, but to get a second round pick, that means you're going to have two twos in 2019. So maybe you thinking about taking one of those twos, packaging, because we're going to have 2 threes in this coming up draft. We're going to have our original 3, and then we're going to have a third conditional pick due to losing A.J. Bouye in the free agency, that you could maybe take that and possibly package it for a second round pick this year, because we don't have no first or second this year. So I would feel much better about the trade if the second round pick was this year's. And then the fifth round pick was just having an extra pick. Those things are the positives. The negative is that you're losing a left tackle that protects the blind side of your most valuable asset, Deshaun Watson, your franchise quarterback. And I know people are going to say, we've been playing all season without him anyway. Just because you've been playing all season without him anyway don't mean that the addition of him doesn't help. I mean, you played the first 3 games without Will Fuller, and Deshaun Watson looked good against the Patriots in that game against New England. He didn't have Will Fuller, but you've seen how extraordinary he looks now when you have Will Fuller out there catching 2 touchdowns a game. Yeah, the offensive line has been doing serviceable, because let's be honest, it's not like the offensive line has just been great. It's been serviceable, and part of it is because of Deshaun Watson's capability, and he's getting out of sacks that Tom Savage would have got you, or number 17 would have got you. He's able to get out of those sacks. You don't think that having Duane Brown would help that? That would ease that a little bit more. It would make Sulufield look better, because that's one thing good quarterbacks do. They mask the problems. Look at what Andrew Luck masked at Indy. Like they masked the problem. Look at Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson has a bad offensive line. In the Seattle still 5-2. Now they have a left tackle. Now he actually has somebody to protect them in Duane Brown. And a lot of people were saying, "Oh, this was all personal, all political. There was no business involved in it." Kind of, sort of. It's a combination of both. It's both personal and business, because one, we knew about this trade. I've been talking about the Duane Brown trade since I was saying this since like either give him a contract extension or trade him. And I think ultimately that was the Duane Brown's end game. I truly believe from the jump he wanted to be traded, because I think if it was specifically about money, I think he would have came back sooner than he did. I think it all has to do with I think he wanted to be traded. To my honest and personal opinion, his wife, who used to be a radio host in Houston, she got hired on and is now she does radio in L.A. I think that he wanted to get traded to a team out there. That's my personal opinion. He wanted to get traded to either the Rams or the Chargers, who in L.A., or maybe even the 49ers or the Raiders, like somewhere out there in Cali. I think that's what his end game really wanted to be. If he had a choice, I think he wanted to be with wifey. That's my personal opinion. That was my personal opinion before all this. But then the comments came out about McNair, what McNair said, and then he was at the forefront, because on all weekend during ESPN, when they kept on talking about what the Texans were going to do, how they were going to protest, what they were going to do, what they now were going to do, they kept saying that they talked to left tackle Duane Brown. And then after the game, when they were asked, Will Fuller and somebody else, I can't remember who it was, they were saying, "Oh, you talked to Duane. He's the flagship carrier when it comes to this disdain and distaste that they have for Bob McNair. And now other reports and stories have come out that him and McNair been had a rub against each other. Last year during the Pacers game on Thursday night when they lost 37-0 to 31-0. I can't remember what the score was, but I know they didn't score any points in that Thursday night game in New England. During then, Duane Brown held up his fist during the national anthem, and him and McNair had a meeting afterwards. And he didn't do it again after that, but they had a meeting before that. A report is coming out now that Bob McNair, during in 2008 when Obama was elected, that he came and met the team and told the team that I know some of y'all are happy, but this is not the outcome that most of us wanted. Some things like that. And if all those things are true, one, Bob McNair was out of line to go in the locker room and tell anybody that, no matter white, black, green, or purple. That was just completely out of line to come in there and say that I know this is not the outcome. Y'all might be happy, but this ain't the outcome that I wanted. Like that was not called for, and you should never do nothing like that. Like that didn't make any sense. For him to do that, if he did do that, that didn't make no sense on any, especially dealing when you have the first ever black president, and you know you got black players on your team. You don't say nothing like that, bro. What is you doing? That's not a good decision. So it's saying that that it's been rubbed between Bob McNair and Duane Brown. So on some level, I think it was personal because Duane Brown has been very vocal this past weekend of how these comments rubbed him the wrong way. And he's the one who was saying that the meeting didn't go well when after Bob McNair met with the team Saturday after the comments. He's the one who was saying we still don't forgive him, even though I think it was an anonymous defensive player saying that now we know how you really feel. And for the team to kneel, I think they were all on the same page. The team wanted to walk out on practice, but I think they were all on the same page. But I do believe that Duane Brown was the most vocal of them all, and because he already has this, I think he already wanted out. And they were saying that that's probably one of the reasons why that he wanted out also was because of the meeting he had last year with him holding up his fist during the national anthem against the Patriots. And so I think it's a combination of both. It was business because you do need help in the secondary, and he is 32 years old, 32 years old, so you're not going to have him very much longer. He has been in the league 9-10 years, and you ain't able to finesse a second-round pick out of it and secondary help. So on that front, yeah, and even if those comments would never happen, if Bob McNair doesn't say that and those comments don't come out, I think Duane Brown is still a Seattle Seahawks today. Because I think they were planning on trading him anyway. And he had to come back now. The reason why he had to come back now because he had 2 years left on this deal. He had to come back and be on the roster and play for not play for 8 games, but he had to be back and active for 8 games. Because if he doesn't, the Texans could hold off his free agency year and extend. This year would be null and void. He could have came back and they just deactivate him. This year would be null and void. And then the 2 years instead of him being a free agent in 2019, he'll be a free agent in 2020. So he had to come back then. We had to come back at least to play 8 weeks. But he came back this week because, like I said, I think his end game was to get traded. So he wanted to come back, show that he was in shape, play a game, so teams would be okay, yeah, he's in shape, he's good, he's ready to go, we're going to make the trade. And I think that's the reason why he had to come back this game. It just so happened that this week was the week he played Seattle. It just happened to fall like that. But I think that was his end game that he wanted to be traded. That's the reason why he waited so late to come. Because if it was strictly about a contract extension, if it was strictly 100% about a contract extension, I think he would came back after that Jacksonville game. He would came back after the Jacksonville game. Once Jacksonville did what they did with those 10 sacks, that Thursday night game, he might still not play, but that game against the Patriots, he would have been out there starting. If it was strictly about contract, if it was strictly about money. He would have made his point. I held out 2 games. You seen what the offensive line was doing. I made my point. Let's get this money. That would have happened. But I think his end game really was to be traded. That's why he wanted to trade because he got what he wanted. He wanted out of Houston. He wanted out. He did. He did. He went out of Houston for two reasons. I think one, I think he does have a distaste and a disearn for Bob McNair, which a lot of us do right now. With this comments and certain views and things like that. And let's be honest, like not everybody gonna agree on everything. Like we not gonna agree on everything. Nobody's ever gonna agree on everything. If that's the case, everybody be thinking one way and walking one way. But you can't condemn people for the things that they think or the way that they feel about certain stuff, especially when it's issues that you can never fathom because you will never be put in that situation. Your family member will never be put in that situation. Your friends, your close friends will never be put in those situations. You don't understand because you don't come from that world. So you can't say certain things. And yes, you're going to rub your players the wrong way when you say certain stuff. It's just the way. That's why when you hold positions, high positions, you can't say certain stuff. Because the position you hold and what that leads to. But, like I say, I bring it back to football, though. I'm kind of conflicted about the trade. I like that we got a second-round pick. Hopefully, we can maybe finesse and get into a second-round pick this year. I like that we have secondary help because we need that desperately. But my main thing about it is the protection of Deshaun Watson because we got to protect him. Because as long as he's healthy and he's playing, we in every single game. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't. Comment below if you haven't. Click that bell to get more videos. I holla.